Hey, glad to see you. Rick Lucas here, the experimenter. I am off on another beer adventure. I'm getting excited. Going to a new place. I've only been there one time, on Rotation Brewery and Kitchen. Very unique place. They've won several awards for best brewery, best kid-friendly. I'm going to Dallas, okay? So it's going to be a bit of a drive for me, but it's going to be exciting. I'm excited about this place. There's probably not much I can say about them more than they can say for themselves. You know what I mean? So it's going to be fun. Quickly, let's not forget our sponsor, San Antonio SEO Strategies. They do free website consultations. So if you're not getting any traffic from your website, give these guys a call. Maybe they can tell you why. Anyway, family owned and operated. I'm going to go meet Jacob tomorrow. Pretty excited about it. Pretty excited. But hey, come along for the ride, and thanks for playing.
Five hours later.
All right, I am here with Jacob Sloan, founder, I'm assuming, owner? Co-founder.
Yeah.
All right, he's a co-founder. We all need a little help sometimes, people. Of On Rotation Brewery and Kitchen. I found this place almost an accident. I went to the SMU Louisville game.
Okay.
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, so I'm a
Yeah.
Louisville Cardinals fan.
Okay.
So that day we got smashed by SMU, and I needed a beer to kind of, drown my sorrows a little bit. And so I ended up here because you're real close, pretty close.
Yeah, no.
To the SMU Stadium.
SMU Stadium. Yeah.
Pretty cool. And you've been kind enough to put up with my emails and me going back and forth and this. So I appreciate your time.
Of course.
You guys have been around since like 2015, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. 2015.
So they have a very unique, eclectic beer list. That's off your website.
Yeah.
The other thing I thought was crazy unique was the gluten-free fried chicken.
Yep.
We're going to talk about that here in a second. I want to get that out early. If you're into that kind of thing, this is the place to go. But I really want to start with, where'd the name come from, On Rotation Brewing and Kitchen? Where'd that come from?
So we, my wife and I, when we were kind of home brewing and first getting into beer, we always loved doing different stuff. So we never did like the same beer. A lot of home brewers will do like the same beer over and over and over again. And we did some of that, but we really liked brewing like a completely unique recipe and then maybe tweaking it a little, doing something entirely different. And so that kind of like built this idea of like us liking to be kind of experimental, but like liking to do these small batches and keep it ever changing. And when friends would come over, eventually we got to where we had like a 4-tap kegerator, and they'd be asking what was on all the taps, even if they weren't drinking it at the time, just like curious about what we were making at that time and how we changed it up and things like that. So we kind of never thought we'd do anything professional with that or really start a place until the seed sort of got planted when the brew pub laws changed in Texas, and this idea that we could have like a small batch system where we brew beer but we could fill out the rest of the tap list with like other people's beer became a little more real, that would like work as a business model.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
The laws they changed in the like early 2010s. And so
you weren't allowed to have someone else's beer at your place before then, or some variation of it?
Yeah, they expanded some of the protocols about how like brew pubs operated, basically, to where like the caps on brew pubs were raised a little bit. So like it became a little more viable to be a brew pub versus a production brewery, at least in like Texas and Dallas especially.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah. And so that kind of planted the seed at least. And then we just got to the point where we were kind of overflowing out of our like room in our house. We were using it as like our brewery room. We had the brewing equipment all around it, the kegerator and stuff like that.
Right.
And we were like, we either need to take
You're
over.
growing out of it. Like stuff is getting stored outside the room, to be brought in the room.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden that spreads out to your bedroom, and
Yeah.
you got stuff on the patio.
Yeah, we were about to take over like 2 rooms in the house, and then we were like, well, should we do something else? And we'd always loved the idea of being like the neighborhood brew pub. Like we took a vacation to Portland, Oregon, and that really like kind of inspired. So like, you go there, every corner there's a different brew pub, and it's kind of the neighborhood spot that people that live in that neighborhood, congregate in. So anyway, that all kind of inspired the idea. And then when we got down to like coming up with a name, we basically made this huge list, and we had this concept in our head that we would rotate every keg when it ran out. So like you'd never be getting like the same 3 or 4 beers like every week. We'd always kind of bring in something new on the guest taps, and then by the same context, like our house beers, we would kind of constantly change through. So we were going to do like a smaller system, brew more often, and kind of constantly keep it changing up. And it was on the list, and it resonated the most, and we threw it at a few people, and on rotation like caught their eye and stuff like that.
It was one that was memorable. It's easy to remember. Right, yeah.
And we like started playing with logos, and then by the time we did a homebrew festival that is no longer in existence, but it's called Brew Riot. And when we did Brew Riot, we had like the name and the logo, and got a lot of feedback about it, and people were really excited about it. So that really locked it in. So.
Nice. Okay. That's fascinating. I had no idea. I kind of thought on rotation maybe. Airplane propellers. Or maybe.
So since we moved to this location, we've gotten a ton of like pilots, especially that come in and are like, like rotation on a plane. Because I guess when you're landing a plane, you're watching the rotation.
I think with a helicopter, the rotation of the tail. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm guessing. Right. There's rotations going on that counteract each other. Anyway.
Admittedly, I did not know there was an airport context when we first moved to this spot, but then I've been told about it. So, it applies in different ways. But
grow with it. I noticed you got it on your shirts. Right?
We did a Top Gun themed anniversary a few years ago.
Nice.
So we try and embrace the location and space as much as possible. But the original name started from the fact that we basically small batch brewing for us, and then all the guest taps we put on something new every time something runs out. So
you're looking at kind of a rotation of many different beers. Coming and going on the regular.
Yeah, usually about every week, depending on the season a little bit, but like 10 to 15 of the 40 taps change weekly.
Wow.
So we come in one week and you come in another week, and we'll have people come in and they're like, I had number 26 and loved it last week. And they're like, well,
sorry,
number 26 has changed twice since Monday. So let's figure out.
So there's a good and bad thing there. The good is that, I'll try something different.
Yeah.
You're always trying something different.
Sure.
The bad is you got those guys, those beer snobs, and they're out there.
Yeah.
Like, I want a Heffa. I want it to be 6.8%. I want it to be cloudy. I want it to be 8.1 ounces or whatever. And I want it to be perfectly like a Heffa should be. And you see my point there? Like,
No, we had our first year. We definitely had people come in who were like almost upset that like the beer they loved was gone, and we didn't have it right back. That we were like giving them something new in place as like a red ale or an amber or lager, whatever the case might be. But as people kind of come around on it, like we end up doing a lot of beer education. Kind of people they love this style, and then we get to show them
similar
a different style.
Right. Okay, that's cool. I like that.
So we try and like categorize the beers for that reason as well, so people can kind of see, I like that one, and then here's 3 others that are like in the same style vein. That I can try to like see what I like in there. Right. And people came around on it. Like people at this point trust us. Like 10 years in now, they like trust us.
If you like the blonde ale, try this, whatever it may be. And then they'll go, okay, I'll try it.
Not give them something bad, and show them something different. And if they don't like it, maybe they branch out to a different style. But we keep it interesting.
All right, so I am trying the peanut butter lager, and as soon as you smell it, you can tell there's peanut butter in it. And I bet this is good with chili. I bet if you had some spicy chili, this would be a good pairing.
Pretty well with
that would be
like extreme flavors, especially.
I think that would be. I don't know if I would sit and drink 6 of them.
Yeah.
That might not be the right move, but. Sure. And something else I noticed about a lot of these, I got me a flight here. This is the first one is the jalapeno saison.
Yeah.
And all of them are like 9.6 or 9% ABV. Like you're not messing around here, are you?
Yeah, we tend to do a lot of saisons, and I guess kind of in the vein of like specialty saisons and things like that, where we're doing like.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's really good. Because the jalapenos.
Yeah.
It's that, or it's not overpowering.
Yeah. Absolutely, that's pretty. Probably our.
The clear to silence is really nice.
If we had a flagship beer, that would probably be it. Like that's our most award-winning beer, and kind of one we did early on that we never expected to have on tap as often as we do. Like nowadays, like we basically make sure that one's always on tap because there's always someone coming in to try it. But yeah, we loved really dry beers when we were first kind of starting things, and especially saisons. So we did a lot of that style, and if you're drying out a beer and you're, brewing it to, pretty average gravity, you're going to end up with like 7 to 9% there in those saisons when you get it.
Oh, it is a little dry at the end. I just, that you mention it.
Yeah.
But I think I'm susceptible to these things. Like you can tell me it's got a hint of rusty nail, and somewhere I'd go, oh, is that?
You pick it up a little bit.
Is that it? Is that railroad tracks?
Yeah.
I would somehow pick it up. I'm easily manipulated. Maybe that's what it is. Please, please don't do that to me. But that's actually pretty good.
So on our saisons, like we tend to lean towards more of like a French saison that's really dry and clean. Because it also allows us to do a lot of cool things with like flavor additions like jalapeno or fruits and things like that.
Right.
But we also do some Belgian saisons and stuff. But like that is like you'll notice on our tap list, especially what we brew. We brew a lot of saisons. Our head brewer nowadays, he was brewing for 20 years before he started with us. And he always says he's brewed more saisons in the last like 5 years than he brewed in 20 years before. Just because that's the style we enjoy and love doing.
Oh well, yeah. You gotta have your own. You gotta express your own kind of personality and what you like in it. Like if me and you were sitting here and you had 20 beers on tap and 19 of them you didn't like. I think I'd be like, well, nice to meet you, Jacob. It's been a great interview. We might not, I don't think you're a beer guy at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I met some guys in Frankfort, Kentucky. Very small place. Oldest brewery in Kentucky, actually. But they only have 3 or 4 beers on tap at any given time.
Yeah.
And they're all like a Kentucky Common or a lager.
Okay.
And that's just them.
Yeah.
That's where he wants to go.
That's what they like.
And that's what they like. Yeah. So, and I'm down with that. I like the different personalities that come involved. Because it expresses itself in the beers, and it gets me excited because I like beer.
Yeah. Well, that's part of why we did the concept we did with the guest taps as well. Because we knew we were going to brew a lot of saisons and things like that. And if you're not into saisons, then we'll give you, blonde ales and things like that you might be more interested in, and then we'll slowly try and convince you to drink the saisons. So.
Well, I've noticed you guys are award-winning for sure. I got my list here is best kid-friendly, and this is in Dallas. Best brew pub, best late-night eatery, best beer selection, best brewery. That's quite the nice little selection there.
Yeah, we've racked them up over the years. Yeah.
Well, I love your patios. You got a great place here for sure. Something I wanted to ask you about, we kind of got the name. How did you get started in this? I know you kind of mentioned it a little bit.
Yeah.
So how did you get started by just making it at home and it went from there? Let's try another one of these here. This is a 29. This one is the Manzano, I think?
Yeah, Manzano Grisette. So that's another spicy beer. We did a lower ABV version of jalapeno saison to kind of play with something different. And Manzano is like a more citrusy pepper. So like all the citrus flavor you get off that is all the pepper driven. Yeah, same kind of idea. It's like a dry.
I think I like this one better.
Yeah. See?
I mean, it's
Wins fans.
It's a different kind of heat. It's a different kind of spicy.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit hotter, but it's also got that like citrusy orange quality that comes from the pepper that kind of cushions it.
I don't want to say waters it down. That's the wrong term.
Yeah.
But it
cushions the spice a little bit. It's got more than just
evens it out. Is that a better way to put it? Yeah, it kind of evens it out.
Yeah, it's got some balance to it. Yeah, we did a Randall of jalapeno saison and Manzano peppers, and it was so popular we were like, oh, let's do something else with those. And then of course the week I went, we were gonna add it, like it was out of stock everywhere in North Texas, so I had to run to like 5 stores to find enough peppers for us to make that beer. But
you got 3 here, 4 there.
Like a week I went like 4 or 5 stores.
Yo necesito.
I was like asking everybody when they were coming back, and they were like, oh, they were supposed to be here today. So anyway,
maybe tomorrow, maybe not. It doesn't help me any.
But so how we got started was we were home brewers, kind of common story. Brewed a lot at home, had friends that were very interested in it. We started doing kind of the homebrew circuit, as it were, like the brew riot.
Well, I bet your friends were into it. They go to your house and there's free beer.
Yeah. I mean, it's an easy problem.
It's real easy to have some. They're like, we got so many friends. I bet you did.
Yeah. They're like, oh, what's this free beer?
Why is Rick here again?
Yeah.
Is it Rick or Rusty? He tells us a different name every time, but he shows up every time.
Yeah. But I mean, we just got really into it, and I did have a friend of a friend did start a brewery that kind of like sparked some interest in it and made it like seem a little more real. So we were kind of constantly asking.
Within reach.
Yeah. It was like somebody we kind of tangentially know also started a brewery. So we looked into it and then, like kind of said, okay, let's see if there's a location we would love doing. And our original location in Lakewood was like 5 minutes from our house, and like perfect spot to kind of try it out and see if it worked.
If it failed, you failed.
If it failed, it failed. But if it worked out, we could at least clean out that room in our house that was full of brewery stuff.
Right.
We let more people try our beers and stuff like that. So yeah, we did it and went all in. And it's been a fun ride. But yeah, we just kind of made the leap, and I'll say I was like terrified the first day we were brewing on like full professional equipment and not just like our little homebrew setup.
Right.
But we made it work, and then from there we were just rolling.
Well, I imagine it could be different from, Rick's here, he's going to try this beer, and we don't want him to dislike it, but it's Rick, it'd be fine, or whoever.
Sure.
Versus somebody's paying $5.50.
Oh yeah.
For a beer, and they're there for the opening, and you're back there sweating.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of different validation and like concern level. When
the pressure feels a little different.
Yeah. You're charging people for drinking your beer. But yeah, it was wild. Our first day, we ended up like postponing our grand opening because there was a snowstorm that year. But then the next day, like the next weekend, we basically were opening. And I remember we were gonna like do the chalkboards for our menu like an hour before everything opened, and then we got delayed with other stuff, and we just never even set up the chalkboard. We just had like blank chalkboard behind all 40 taps we had rolling. We just had these printed lists that we just like were getting passed all around. I did like 5 of them. But the place just filled out, and they were like, all right, we're open, and there's no menu. There's just a print menu.
Right, everybody's like, well, we're not ordering. He's almost done with it.
I was going to say, people were just ordering by number.
Yeah, we opened yesterday. Yeah. Actually, about 5 minutes ago. Right, you're going through the routine.
Yeah. We had like a line at the door. We were like, we just got to go for it. So.
See, that's some of the satisfaction in the risk and the challenge of starting something like that, because that's a big leap, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the equipment is, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's something ignorant. If it's $12,000, it's more than I can write a check for.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's a lot. It's not like buying a Porsche, which is a lot too. But the Porsche is going to be a Porsche. Yeah,
it's not as bad these days though. But yeah, like we waited like 9 months for the equipment, and then had to do like install and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a big commitment.
It's a big commitment.
You should know what you're getting into. But we were excited about it. We wanted to see if it would work, and we just went for it.
Well, okay. What did you guys do before this?
Do
you have a unique?
Yeah.
I mean, are you like a chemistry major that this is just an easy transfer, or is it?
No. So I was kind of like digital marketing guy. Worked for agencies in a few places.
We have a few things in common.
Yeah. And then my wife has an accounting background. Works in accounting.
She can do the books.
And
that's a beautiful thing.
So it was a good combo.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a real big foodie, so we kind of started branching out, going to a bunch of restaurants and doing that sort of thing. And then I was always just really into like trying, especially as we got into beer and cocktails and stuff like that, like flavors and all those kind of combos just inspired us. But yeah, no real chemistry background. We're totally self-taught. We read all the homebrew books when we were first getting and going homebrewing. And then as we started to go professional, got into more of like the professional curriculums and stuff like that. But we didn't do any kind of formal like brewing school or anything. We just kind of got excited and went for it. As I will say, that was one of the things that going back in time, I might have said it would have been helpful to do like one of the more like brewing school setups for us.
Because I think they do a little bit of brewery marketing things, and then brewery business details.
Yeah. The
that-
immersive thing where you get to go
Yeah.
like intern in a brewery and some things like that would have been helpful.
Like
we always say we were a little.
Seabold in Chicago, I think, is
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only heard of them because I'm talking to people like you.
Oh, yeah.
They went there, you know.
Yeah, and quite a few of the brewers in this market now have like done the school, and I definitely see the benefit. One of our early brewers had the full curriculum, and so we kind of got a feel for it. Like he shared all his like notebooks and stuff from it. It's definitely helpful. We just kind of we skipped right over that step and went straight to like, okay, we're brewing much larger. I mean, scaling up from homebrew to 3-barrel, which was our size, you're really going from like 5 and 10 gallons to like 90 gallons. It's not the most extreme scale versus like somebody who's starting like a full brew house or something like that. But it was still a leap, and we just kind of went for it. We was,
Okay.
ready to go.
Describe to me, what does it mean by, I've got my notes say 3BBL, 3-barrel brew system. What is that? Could you tell me a little, give me some details too. Tell me something that.
So a barrel is 31 gallons.
Okay.
So like your traditional, what you think of as a keg is usually a half-barrel keg in the United States. So that's 15.5 gallons, basically half of 31 gallons. But that's how most brew systems in the United States are scaled, is like by barrel. So 3-barrel is pretty small. Like a 1-barrel system is usually kind of a pilot system for a lot of breweries. And then 3-barrel was what we landed on. There's 3 and 3.5 is kind of the smallest you could really reasonably go. So it's basically 93 gallon capacity. Our normal yield is something more like 2.7 barrels, but like, you're basically, like I said, looking at like 90 gallons of liquid.
Because evaporation and the gods take a piece of it.
Yeah, evaporation and then
the beer gods.
Yeah, ash, all that stuff kind of takes a little bit. But yeah, depending on the beer, but if IPAs, we get a little less yield because those hops do get in there, and you don't want to be serving like the hop turbid mix at the bottom of that kind of stuff. But yeah, so it's not a ton of beer. One of the reasons we like keep everything in house, because like we really can't. If we send 2 kegs out, we run out of the beer in like a week, and then people don't even realize it never happened. So we try and kind of keep all of it in house. And make it exclusive to here. But yeah,
so you look at it like a 3-barrel, like a 3-barrel brew system. It's kind of the smallest. In our opinion, in your opinion, kind of smallest for an operation, kind of like this.
Smallest viable.
I mean, any smaller than that, you're really not getting anywhere. You're only making. I'm assuming this. You got to tell me if I'm right or wrong. Like if you're doing smaller than that, you're really only doing one type of beer or one kind of beer at a time, and that's it. Like you can't do multiple.
Or if you had like a ton of fermenters, because your fermenters is really the cap on this kind of system, right? Like so, if you had a 1-barrel system with 18 1-barrel fermenters, you could brew every day of the month, and have 1,000 things. Now they last just a second on the tap list. You could do it. But yeah, our original setup was
the Fruitadilla,
Maison.
Maison.
Yeah.
Kind of sweet. That was nice. It's a nice after the spiciness.
That was our take on so chicha beer. Dogfish did one of these a few years ago, and it was like, I guess historically, a lot of contacts say they were chewing the corn and like spitting it out and using the saliva to like ferment the beer.
Really?
That's since been like kind of debunked as like a propaganda to talk down that beer, basically. But
kind of like the things going on with that Mexican beer. I just slipped my mind. I just had it. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. So yeah, I mean, we wanted to do a little take on that. So we did basically a like purple corn-driven saison with a little bit of like funk to it, but like not as wild as.
So was it you that chewed the corn and spit it out to make the beer, or was it?
Yeah.
Did Michael do that?
We put corn in it, but we didn't like, because actually, if you read up on it, it seems like it's not really necessarily. It's definitely not made that way today.
Right.
It's basically a wild corn-based like saison beer these days. So that's kind of what we based it on, and then they're normally fruited, so we did a little blackberry on that.
This is the Buzz the Tower, the peanut buttery thing. I bet it's good with chili.
Yeah, I didn't know the term pastry lager, but I was I was like, one of our early people that came in and tried that beer was like, oh, I love pastry lagers, and I was like, I didn't realize that was a thing.
Okay.
But yeah, peanut butter and honey from the airport actually. So Dallas Love Field manages it, but the executive airport, like so down in like South Dallas, has an actual beehive off the side of the airport.
Oh, really?
It's like a program where they try and like basically give bees homes near these airports where there's this like green land that essentially can't be used. Yeah. Right. And they're not worried about the bees kind of interfering with anything the airport's doing. So they have like little one beehive there with one queen in it. Right. And we realized they had local honey and reached out and they were like, oh, you want it? Like,
please,
sure.
For the love of God, take some.
Yeah, they were like, we have all these jars sitting here if you want some.
So we're giving them away when people fly in. I mean,
right. Yeah, we get these little jars and we wanted to do something with it. So our brewer, Dan, had the idea of doing like a peanut butter and honey sandwich kind of beer. So it's a Vienna lager base with peanut butter and honey added. The honey's pretty subtle because it does ferment out for the most part. But that peanut butter kind of seals in the sweetness on it. But it's a fun beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah.
Now, something I'm a little confused about by looking at your website is, and before we let's talk about this mango right here real quick. And you're gonna have to give me one of your glasses. I do like that glass. I brought this for you, by the way. You can have that.
Thank you.
One of my glasses.
Yeah.
Woohoo! All right, that's for you.
Appreciate it.
This mango.
Yeah, is it the Odd Lang Saison?
Oh, that's really good too. Oh, that might be my favorite.
So that one,
this could be my favorite.
We decided we wanted to do a beer for New Year's Eve, and we wanted like at the time in our old place we didn't have champagne, so we wanted something to like replace the champagne toast.
Right, that's where that beer comes from.
New Year's Eve or something like that. And so we had the idea of doing an imperial saison, kind of drying it out completely, kind of like champagne does, and then a lot of people do like flavored champagnes. We were like, oh, well, we should do like a flavoring to it.
Look how pretty that is.
It's basically a 9% saison, and then we trick it up with like the various flavors. So like right now we have mango, candied raspberry, and this 5 citrus mix we did for the last couple of years.
That's the last one I got right there. Is the 5 citrus.
The 5 citrus was the most popular over the last 2 years. It's like a mix of, I believe it's orange, lemon, lime, tangerine, and grapefruit. And depending on how warm it is and stuff like that, you pick up on the different flavors. But it's basically kind of a mix. It's like a little bit of that like orange rind bitterness, but then a lot of like grapefruit, orange, citrus sweetness. Just kind of a fun beer. And yeah, we always love doing it.
That's pretty good.
Year.
I'm kind of shocked how good it is.
It's our fun January Saison. We have a lot of people that don't love Saisons, and they're like, that beer is my favorite.
That was pretty good.
Depending on the fruit flavors. And then
it really is, because it's not over the top crazy sweet, because I can't have a crazy sweet beer. It screws it all up.
We still ferment it to complete dryness, so you're not, there's really no sugar in the beer. You're just getting like the fruit notes, and then
the aftertaste is kind of there. It's a little subtle. It's right there hanging out with you after you set the beer down. So it's a little dry, and then you kind of sit there going, oh man, that's pretty good. You want to reach over and have another sip. I mean, that's the point why you make it dry, I guess. Oh, that's your secret. That's your secret. That's your secret sauce. You make all the beers. You make all the beers kind of dry, so everybody wants to have a little more.
Yeah. We always like dry because you're not getting a ton of residuals. I mean, obviously on our stouts and stuff like that, we don't go all the way to complete dryness. But when it comes to saisons, especially, like the drier the saison, I feel like the better. So we always go to like.
It goes down really well too.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah. Well, I have to ask about, and it seems counterintuitive. You've got this gluten-free menu.
Yeah.
But your beers aren't gluten-free. Right. So you knew I was going to ask about this.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I don't care. I'm just curious.
Yeah. So we did, when we started building the food menu, we knew we wanted to do fried chicken. We started working with some people to like develop our batters and stuff like that. So when we were developing the batter, we wanted a gluten-free option, and we did a blind taste test with kind of different recipes we've been playing with, and kind of all the key players and like our brewer and stuff like that played a part in this, and we all selected unanimously the gluten-free chicken as our favorite option.
So this was a matter of a taste test, and the gluten-free won.
Yeah, and so then we decided to just.
Oh no, I love the competition level.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
And because of the way our fryers work and stuff like that, we were like, well, if we're gonna do gluten-free fried chicken and say it's actually gluten-free, we might as well dedicate all the fryers to gluten-free. So everything we fry is gluten-free here. We obviously have like beer cheese has gluten in it, and like our breads and pastas have gluten in it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, it's been something we brought on as we added the restaurant side of things in 2021, and we've loved, like being able to cater to the gluten-free community. We have dabbled with there's some enzymes you can throw in beer to like essentially make it gluten-free.
Right.
So some of our lighter beers especially, we've thrown that in there to make some of our beers gluten-free, but we haven't like advertised them as such because we're kind of still testing the waters and trying to see like how we like that enzyme playing in the beer and stuff like that. But for people who are gluten-free, we do try to have like the largest gluten-free beer.
Well, I love it that it's just gluten-free just because you picked it because it was just the best chicken.
Yeah. And I have people
so that's awesome.
That like the fried okra. They're like, this is the best fried okra I've ever had. And I was like, it's also like gluten-free fried okra.
There's a place in Kentucky, Lemmon's Mill, and there's 5 owners, right? They're all oddly distinctive and different, that's one of the better interviews I've done. You should probably check that out. Right, because they're all characters, right? The handyman, the salesman, the guy, the veterinarian dude.
Yeah.
But one of them is allergic to gluten.
Okay.
So all their beers are gluten free.
Yeah.
Right. But he doesn't want anybody to announce it because then they only talk about their beers.
Scare people off.
Yeah, because if you think of a gluten-free beer, it's not going to be a good beer.
Yeah.
And although they have good beers.
Yeah.
They have good beers.
Yeah.
So that's a weird.
There's quite a few breweries here in North Texas, I'll say, that like are all using the enzyme or different ingredients, and like so there are quite a few beers that are like actually smaller than 20 parts per million of gluten, so they qualify as like gluten-free, but like really you end up calling it gluten-reduced. But either way, there's a lot happening there. We just know like a lot of people who truly have a gluten allergy want like 100% no chance of gluten exposure, and so that's where it
can be 20 parts per whatever. It's got to be.
And we want everyone to make this decision for themselves, but we always keep I think like we're a pretty good list of gluten-free beers, which I will say like a lot of people would be scared of trying gluten-free beer or think it's going to be bad. It's really like I think you could side by side and you probably would feel a difference.
I would agree with the ones that I've tried. I haven't tried a lot. They've got 5. They had 15 or 20 I think on tap. I tried 4 or 5 of them. But they all were. If you didn't set it down and go, "That's gluten free," I would have just went, "Oh, that's a good beer," whatever. Right. I just would have moved on, and then told me it's gluten free. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Why even stunt me? Why even throw me off? Tell me it's gluten free afterwards. You know. Yeah, that's fascinating. I really thought that. My assumption was that you or one of the owners were. Gluten allergic or whatever the term is, and so then I thought, well, why would they not have gluten-free beers then? So how could you? Oh, I can eat there, but I can't drink my own beers. It doesn't make any.
I'll tell you what inspired it was my mom and my sister are both gluten-free, so that we talked about having a gluten-free option on the menu, and then like I said, just when we did the taste test, we all picked it, and so we just
so we're just gonna roll with it then. Right. I love that, man. I love
worry about it. And it does awesome. Like I will say on the chicken side, especially like one thing we've noticed is like it keeps really well. So a lot of people like will have leftovers, throw them in the box, and like if you like throw that in an air fryer or even just pull it out like the next day, it stays a lot more crispy without the gluten aspect of it. So another little benefit, but we just went all in on it.
Excellent. That's pretty cool. You do have when you say eclectic tap list, I would agree about that. Because you've got a whole bunch of different brewers. Like I've been to places and there's people working together. But there's never, I don't know, there's 6 or 7 different other breweries on there.
Oh yeah,
it seems like a lot to me.
Yeah, I mean we probably have
maybe 10.
Oh, I mean, as far as different breweries on tap at any one time, we're probably closer to like 30 different.
Wow.
Like we usually only have like 1 or 2 guest taps from each place. And then about 12 of those are ours. So like doing the math, it's like 25 to 30 different breweries at any given time.
Are they all in the Dallas area for the most part?
We try and keep the majority local, but we do pull in from all over. So like, depending on the season and stuff like that, we'll bring in stuff.
Very cool. Very cool.
And we'll bring in, stuff that's cool that like is from a larger brewery, like a Sierra Nevada Celebration, and then at the same time bring in like a brand new pale ale from a local brewery like down the street.
Well, I tried that heifer from, is it Just Juicy, Just Fishy?
Juicy Fish.
Juicy Fish. Yeah, that's a good heifer.
The Weldworks, that's a hazy IPA, the Juicy Fish.
Oh yeah. Okay, it's the IPA.
but
I got it mixed up.
Weldworks Pine House collab, that was cool.
Right.
But yeah, we do a couple cool hefts. Live Oak heft just came back to North Texas, so we brought that in.
Quite the selection.
We try and have something for everyone and something like interesting for everyone.
Right.
So you're not just like, I'll drink.
So if you can't find a beer here, you're not trying.
I mean, I would say that.
Right.
But, we have other non-beer options for people that just we can't find a reason to get them to try the beer.
Right.
We never give up on it.
Right. Oh, never give up. Never give up. Do you have any like stories about unique challenges that you faced while you were here? Or, I mean, if not, that's okay, I get it. I just put you on the spot. But, I mean, do you have any kind of like, Michael fell down that one time and it was funny. I mean, that's what I'm looking for,
I mean, I'd say like one of the bigger challenges we ran into was during like the move, because we essentially like closed our first location to move to this location in like late 2020, which obviously was like the midst of COVID and stuff like that.
The pandemic.
The biggest problem with that was like nobody was really going out. So like we put a sign on the building, but like our neighbor in our old location was moving in almost immediately to kind of like take it over and build out like an expansion. So like our sign was only up for a couple weeks and then
it's gone.
It was gone.
And people are showing up and it's a sewing shop.
Yeah. And then people were.
You guys make bikes here now? What's going on?
And people were on our email list, but not everybody was on it.
Yeah.
So we kind of had like, amidst that move, not only did we have to kind of like find storage, which luckily some other local breweries helped store like our cold storage during the move. And then we had like a storage unit packed with other stuff, and went through all the seasons between, that was the summer or the winter that basically like, it was 75 degrees and then 20 degrees here. We had like this great freeze in that like 6-month period. But yeah, really the challenge was just like, once we opened, a lot of people were like, they got that first email that we were back open on our email list, and people were like, oh my God, I thought you closed. And we were like, did you miss our email like at Thanksgiving last year? But yeah, it was.
There's always one.
Yeah.
At least one.
It was, and then even then, all the people that hadn't seen, like, weren't on our email list or didn't follow us on Instagram or anything like that, like missed out on that announcement. And over that first year, it was funny how many people would like stumble across us here on the other side of town.
Their Instagram and Facebook will be in the description. Please feel free to follow them. And me first, obviously. Me first. I don't mean to sound selfish.
But yeah, that was probably one of the bigger challenges we faced was like when we reopened. Basically telling people we were back and convincing
back
people
in action.
Because a lot of people just didn't realize it. So like for the first year, we heard over and over again, people would come and be like, "Oh my God, I used to go to your place all the time. And I thought you guys closed." And I'm like, well, we didn't. We moved.
Not this time.
We are.
Right.
So they figured it out, and then everybody's been really excited about the new spot, stuff like that. But
no, it looks great here, man. I mean, I don't know who did your thing in the back there behind. That looks fantastic.
Yeah, the muralist name. So on Instagram, his name is Dummy Fresh, but he did the mural for us. He's done quite a few murals around North Texas. He's awesome.
Spell it for me.
Dummy, like DUMMY, and then Fresh.
Just like it sounds?
Yeah.
Okay. On Instagram.
Yeah.
All right. We'll try to give him some love too.
Yeah. But
that's a beautiful. It's beautiful.
We did that, and like we like this first iteration of it. We were like, that was actually so that skyline view of Dallas. Like used to be viewable from like the end of our building over here.
Right.
So like we were gonna cut a window in that like side
So you
room
could see
over
it?
there, so you could see the skyline. And then as we were under construction, they started building that hangar that now like runs behind Callaway's right over
And now
there.
you can't see it.
And it blocked the view, so it blocked our window.
No.
So we took a picture of it. We had the muralist take a shot at it, and that's what
There you
exists
go.
behind us. Because like right behind us is another hangar. People are always like, "Why don't you cut a window out there and show the planes?" And I was like, "If I cut a window, you're just going to see the roof of another hangar."
Right.
Because it's basically all we're in the old Braniff Airlines headquarters building,
Oh, okay.
and the old Braniff like hub basically is right behind us. So
Right.
there's like a series of hangars behind us, and then a private airport on the other side. So.
Do you get a lot of people running through here? Because now this is Dallas Love Field.
Yeah.
This is where JFK was, his Air Force One was when he was assassinated. Is that? Do you get a lot of people running through here because of that? I mean, like
a lot of like tourists. So the flight museum is right here, like down the street from us.
there's
So
a helicopter or something down there.
Yeah,
right?
so a lot of people will do flight museum
Huey.
and come here and stuff like that.
Right.
I would say the most common like airport traffic we get is the person who's waiting to pick someone up and they come here and just have beers until someone says, "Oh hey, I
yeah,
landed,"
yeah, come give me.
because it's like a 7-minute drive from our parking lot to
There we
Love
go.
Field pickup.
So
So,
if you-
they get credit for being on time, and they also don't have to sit in their cars.
Right, right. So if you're
That's
looking to
why
pick
it's
someone up at Love Field, come check out on Rotation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they've got gluten-free fried chicken, mango spice. I mean, it'll be fine. Tell them that you had a Snickers or maybe a peanut butter sandwich, and they won't know that you drank a beer before you pick them
Peanut
up.
butter honey sandwich, Can't blame someone for that.
All right, I need to ask you a serious beer question.
Okay.
Something I haven't figured out. Now I'm assuming that you have to. You're keeping the same yeast from place to place, from beer to beer. How do you store the yeast?
So we don't, but there is. So this thing exists. It's called a brink, which is basically like a keg with a easier in and out access than your traditional keg. A lot of people will store yeast in a brink, but essentially they can pull off an active beer that they finished fermenting and then reuse in another beer, and that's where you get generations of yeast.
Yeah.
We don't really do a ton of that because we brew so many different things on different timelines. The only yeast we'd really be able to reuse was probably the jalapeno saison yeast, and we'd only be able to use it on
and
jalapeno
the
saison.
goal. I'm asking dumb questions. Give me a break.
You good?
Oh, sorry, folks. I did that. So are you trying to keep the same yeast to keep it consistent?
So a lot of people will
Or is it
use-
because you don't want to have to buy more?
Yeah.
Or both.
A lot of yeast reuse, I think, is cost generated. That if you don't have to rebuy it, it's
Right.
a free ingredient on the next beer. But there's also some aspect where the yeast gets more. It gets better at fermenting that beer the more you run it on it. So a lot of people that do the same lager per se over and over and over again. And it's basically the same ingredients. They can pull that yeast and get to multiple
any moment.
generations of it. Yeah.
Right.
And that yeast is always going to be the strongest yeast that are best at fermenting that beer and are going to ferment it faster and better and more robustly, and just generally be a healthier yeast to put in there. But for us, because we're small batch, and because we could have a fleet of brinks holding all these yeasts,
Okay.
but we may not go back to it for 4 weeks, and that's 4 weeks
It's just
of
not
just going to sleep in a
Right.
little brink. It's not an ideal scenario. We found that we can do, if we're doing jalapeno saison and we're back-to-back batching it, we might reuse the yeast and just basically take it straight out of the done tank and put it into a brand new tank, and it'll do great, go nuts. But outside of that, we don't see a lot of the benefits, and we more or less just end up with problematic scenarios where it's not fermenting as well because it is kind of still waking up from its slumber or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, we end up not using it. We use a lot of distinct yeast for the different beers, which is sort of unique to us with the small batch aspect because a lot of people will.
Well, that's got to be difficult to keep organized.
Yeah.
Right.
It requires some logistics of
Right.
making sure we have it in stock and stuff like that. And then there's also identifying the yeast we like working with. So we have a preferred lager pilsner yeast now, and we have a preferred yeast for jalapeno saison, obviously. But we do kind of order fresh pitches for the most part on those things just to make sure that beer is getting the same reproducible flavor profile and fermentation schedules, everything.
Okay, so if you were going to store yeast, it would be in a brink, which I don't know what that is yet. What you're going to have to
Google it and you find a picture, but it's basically a keg with like another port on it. You wouldn't normally expect that you can open to basically dump that keg out.
Okay.
So you can basically like air compress, like store yeast in a sterile container,
Right.
And then keep it under. If you put it under refrigeration, the yeast will essentially go to sleep and just wait till you feed it more sugars.
So you wake it up, basically.
Yeah, you wake it up. But yeah, for us, it doesn't make a lot of sense. For a lot of breweries, that maybe if you're making the same 3 or 5 beers, every month, you probably have several brinks running, and you're running generations on this yeast.
Interesting. I've never heard that term, the brink. All right. Yeah. So I learned something today. I appreciate that. I really do. Would you say that I know you don't keep a lot of yeast.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my question. My question was going to be: is collecting or keeping alive the most challenge? What is the most challenging thing you kind of face? I know it's a vague question. I was going to go with the yeast, but
I mean, from a I would say batch to batch. One of the things we plan by month. So like every month we basically plan the next.
How much we sell last month?
Yeah.
If we grow by 10%, we hope, or 2%, whatever.
And usually, so we can do with our fermenters, we can do 4 beers a month. Usually one of those 4 is a restock of the 2 beers we always keep on tap, which are our jalapeno saison and our cafe. So like you kind of have 3 beers you can play with every month. And so for us, I would say one of the challenges is always just like determining whether like we like that one better than like something we did before. Like do we want to go back?
Because what you like might not be what someone else likes.
Right.
So
we always
that is a challenge.
We always try and work in new beer recipes as well. But yeah, we try and kind of collect feedback as best we can. But yeah, one of our challenges is saying like, okay, should we do that again? And if we do it again, should we use different hops or what other ingredients should we use and things like that? And we've done some like little surveys of our customers to be like, what was your favorite beer and things like that over the years. Really what we found is like just going off like how quickly it sold and like how much we enjoyed it kind of tends to be the best metric, and then we fit that in. But yeah, with
and there's probably some like you can make the decision in some fairly quick manner.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
and even if you're wrong, you made a decision quickly. We can move forward without it. But without you get all the metrics together. We made 12 cents more per beer on this one, or whatever.
But then our challenge is always figuring out what we're keeping around and what we're like, letting go for a certain season. Because no matter what we decide, somebody's going to come back and be like, I love that beer. When is it coming back? I loved it too, but now that you're asking me, let me figure out if we can brew, a Scotch ale in the middle of summer or something like that to make it work.
The water's going to be too warm or whatever the issue is.
Yeah.
We don't have the yeast anymore, but we lost our brink. There was a Brinks robbery, and we lost our brink.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, fun problems to have. But yeah, that's always one of the fun aspects of the business is figuring out what we're gonna bring back and how often we bring it back. Because there are some beers that, depending on what customer you ask, they would tell us we need to have it on tap all the time.
Right.
That's the only thing they want to drink. And then there's other customers who are like, I want this one and this one and this one. So yeah, we have a lot. At this point, we've done so many beers over 10 years that like figuring out which of it's like having all these favorites and figuring out which we bring back.
And so now you get a list of 75 favorites,
right?
And only 40 spots for them, or whatever the numbers.
Yeah. We try and base it off seasonality and stuff like that. But yeah, we're always like disappointing someone because I'll get emails about a beer that someone had 3 years ago, and they don't even know the name.
I really love that lager. It was kind of dry at the end. They're all dry at the end.
They'll describe it, and usually I can figure out what it was, but then I'm like, and now when is it coming back? And I'm like,
maybe never.
Yeah. That was.
You're the only person who liked that beer, by the way, sir.
Like that.
It was the Rusty Nail beer.
Yeah.
And Rick Lucas is not coming back, or whatever. Right.
But they're fun. They're fun little back and forth. Yeah. But I do always love when somebody out of the blue like emails us and it's just like, I love this beer from 4 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
And I have to be like, when did you come in? And then I like backtrack on our brew calendar and I usually kind of figure out what it was. And then they're like, when are you doing that again? And I'm like,
It wasn't even on the
That was
calendar.
a wild yeast we harvested, so like, I don't know that it'll ever really be
I
that.
found a dandelion and threw it in there.
Right.
I decided we're making dandelion beer that day. Good
Yeah.
luck with that.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, Jacob, you have been quite gracious with your time, sir. And I appreciate it. I feel like I'm running out of gas and you're running out of gas. I need a beer, you know.
We do need refills.
Yeah, we need refills, man. Thank you for your time, brother.
Of course.
You've been fucking great. And thanks, man.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming in.
Hours later.
Hello. Thanks for playing. Wasn't it a great interview? On Rotation Brewery in Dallas. They got a great kitchen. They got a lot of great beers. Very unique kind of beers. The jalapeno was really good, and they have 10 or 11 other breweries that have taps that have beers there. They had a pretty good Kolsch. The Heffa was pretty good. I can't remember the other breweries, but they were there. So, but I'd like to thank Jacob for his time. We had a great interview, I think. And if you feel like you learned something about a new brewery, then you owe me a like and a subscribe. I could use all the help I could get. I mean, I'm just a big nobody trying to be a somebody. But thanks for playing. We had a great time at On Rotation. If you're anywhere in Dallas and you're into beers, you got to go over there and check them out. They got a lot of great stuff going on over there, and they're real close to the Dallas Love Field. So thanks for playing.